Hi there, my friend, and welcome back to Authentically ADHD, a podcast where we take the chaos out of your brain, put it gently on the counter, and say, okay, bestie, what the hell is actually happening here? Today, we're talking about a very specific ADHD experience. The moment where your brain feels like it has 47 tabs open. Three of them are playing mystery music. One's frozen. One is screaming about a deadline. One is replaying a conversation from 2018, and absolutely none of them are loading. You are not relaxing. You're not focusing. You're not resting, and you're not doing the task. You're just standing there, holding a coffee you forgot you made, staring at a pile of laundry like it personally betrayed your bloodline. And from the outside, this can look like laziness, procrastination, having an attitude, demand avoidance, or just being dramatic. But inside, well, inside your nervous system is running Windows 95 during a thunderstorm. This episode is for the ADHDers who feel like their brain is always trying to load too much at once. Let me just tell you, I personally resonate with being the type of ADHDer who feels like my brain is always trying to load too much at once. It's for the people who can feel everything, think everything, notice everything, remember everything. I can't remember everything, anticipate everything, and still somehow forget why they walked into the kitchen. It's also for the partners, friends, family, coworkers, teachers, and well-meaning humans who keep saying, just pick one thought or one thing and start, which is cute, adorable. But sometimes the problem is not that we will not pick one thing. Sometimes the problem is that our brain has identified 17 urgent things, 4 sensory threats, 2 emotional landmines, a social expectation, a body need, a shame spiral, and a random song lyric from 2009. And it is trying to process all of them at the same time. So today we're going to talk about the ADHD and autistic overload overlap, what it is, why it happens, what it feels like, why it is not a character flaw, and what we can actually do when the brain browser crashes and the tiny internal IT department is just one exhausted raccoon in a headset that probably doesn't actually work. So let me paint the scene. You wake up with good intentions. Dangerous, I know. You have a plan, a beautiful little plan, maybe even a list, maybe even a color coded list, because apparently we believe organization will spiritually redeem us if we make it purple enough. That was. So you're going to answer the email, start the laundry, make the appointment, record the podcast, eat something with protein because your body has once again filed a formal complaint, maybe shower, maybe become an entirely new person by 11:30 a.m. Then one tiny thing changes. A notification comes in. Someone asks you a question. The house is too loud. Your shirt feels wrong. The task has too many steps. You remember a bill you have to pay. You realize you forgot to text someone back. Your stomach is doing something suspicious. The dog is looking at you like you owe him money. And suddenly, the plan does not feel like a plan anymore. It feels like someone dumped a junk drawer into your skull and told you to alphabetize it while fluorescent lights hum in the background. You are not calmly choosing what to do next. You're scanning, you're bracing, you are mentally buffering. And then comes the best part, the guilt, because you know what needs to be done. That is the part that people do not get. We're not sitting here like, what laundry? A myth? A folklore? No, we know. We know so deeply that we are literally haunted by it. The tasks are not invisible. They're glowing red, like a cursed video game, like objective, okay? But knowing what to do and being able to initiate, organize, sequence, tolerate, and complete it are not the same thing at all. And for ADHD brains, overload often hits right at that intersection. ADHD says everything is important and we need stimulation immediately. Autism says everything is too much and we need predictability immediately. And the poor nervous system in the middle is like, respectfully, I am a toaster. Why are we trying to run NASA? All right. If you identify with any of this is an episode that's for you. So we're going to name the pattern. And the pattern we are naming today is the ADHD overload overlap. And this is what happens when an ADHD style executive dysfunction and an autistic style sensory, social, emotional, and predictability overload collide. It is not just I'm distracted. It's not just I'm overstimulated or anxious or I just need to try harder. It's more like I have way too much input, too many demands, too many transitions, too many choices, too many internal signals, too much uncertainty, and not enough nervous system bandwidth to sort it out. ADHD overload often shows up as I can't prioritize, I can't start, I keep switching tasks. I know what I need to do, but I can't make myself do it. My attention is being pulled in 6 different directions. I need novelty, urgency, or pressure to activate. And the autistic overload often shows up as the noise is too much, the change is too much, the social expectation is too vague, the sensory input is painful. I need more predictability. I cannot transition yet. My brain needs time to process. Now combine them. ADHD overload sounds like I need structure, but I hate being controlled. I need novelty, but change makes me want to crawl out of my own skin. I need help, but explaining what kind of help that I need is a whole second job. I want to do the task, but the task has way too many invisible steps. I am bored and overwhelmed at the same time. I need stimulation, but also everyone please stop breathing so freaking loud. And that, my friends, is how you end up lying on the floor next to a laundry basket, not because you're lazy, but because your nervous system has entered witness protection. All right, now we're going to talk brain science without making it sound like we just saw the textbook and joined LinkedIn. ADHD and autism are both neurodevelopmental differences. That means that they involve how the brain develops, connects, filters, regulates, predicts, responds, and recovers. They are not moral failures. They are not personality defects. They are not caused by being too sensitive, too much, not disciplined enough, or raised wrong. And when ADHD and autism overlap, you can get a very specific nervous system experience where the brain is both seeking stimulation and defending against stimulation. And that sounds contradictory because it is. Welcome to ADHD. We contain multitudes, and most of them need snack. 1, executive function. The brain's project manager is severely underpaid. Executive functioning, the brain system that helps with basically being an adult, the little manager in your brain who says, okay, first we put the laundry in, then we answer the email, then we eat lunch, then we do not spend 2 hours researching the history of Victorian morning jewelry. In ADHD, executive function differences often affect attention, regulation, inhibition, working memory, time awareness, motivation, and task initiation. That's why ADHD is not really an attention deficit. It's more like an attention regulation issue. We can pay attention. Oh, can we ever? We can hyper-focus on one topic so hard that time literally evaporates. Our bladder leaves a voicemail and suddenly it's dark outside. So, directing attention on command, switching away from the interesting thing, starting the boring but important thing, that's where the traffic comes in. In autism, executive function differences often show up around cognitive flexibility, transitions, uncertainty, sequencing, and adjusting when the plan changes. So the autistic brain may need more predictability, more processing time, more clarity, more sensory safety before it can shift, right? Now we're going to put ADHD and autism together again. We need stimulation. This task is boring. Absolutely not. ADHD brain or autistic brain. We need sameness. This change is threatening. Absolutely not. So the executive function, I have been here for 12 hours and no one has given me a lunch break. That's overload. Not because the person doesn't care, but because the person or the brain systems required to move from intention to action, they're maxed out. Next is sensory processing. The filter is not filtering. A lot of ADHD, ADHD overload is sensory. And sensory does not just mean I don't like loud noises. Sensory means your brain and body are constantly processing input from the world and from inside of you: sound, light, texture, smell, temperature, movement, visual clutter, body signals, pain, hunger, thirst, heartbeat, muscle tension, social tone, facial expressions, the emotional temperature of the room, the actual temperature of the room. Yes, some of us can detect a shift in someone's text punctuation, but cannot detect that we've needed to pee for 90 minutes. Neuroscience is very humbling. In many autistic people, sensory processing differences mean the brain may register certain input as more intense, more unpredictable, or harder to filter. ADHD can also involve sensory sensitivity and difficulty filtering out what matters and what doesn't. So instead of the brain saying, that sounds irrelevant, it says, alert, the refrigerator is humming, the lights are buzzing, someone is chewing, your sock scene is also kind of violent, and a dog barked about 3 houses away. Also, your phone does exist. And now you're expected to make dinner. But bestie, under these conditions, a frozen waffle is going to be an act of survival. Next, predictive processing. The brain hates surprise like it owes it money. One helpful way to understand autistic overload is through predictive processing. Your brain is constantly making predictions. What's going to happen next? What does that sound mean? What does this facial expression mean? How much energy will this take? What steps are involved? Is this safe? Is this familiar? Do I know what is expected? For many autistic brains, unpredictability can require more processing. When the world does not match the unexpected pattern, the brain may have to work harder to update, adjust, and respond. Excuse me. That means a small change may not feel small. A canceled plan, a different route, a vague instructor, a surprise visitor, a meeting moved up by 20 minutes, a food texture being incredibly wrong, a person saying, can we talk later, but not telling you what about. Excuse me, can we not release psychological thriller trailers into my nervous system without context? So, if the autistic side needs predictability and the ADHD side keeps losing the thread, overload can happen really fast. And it's not just, I don't like change. It's my brain built a map and now you moved the entire building. Next, nervous system arousal: fight, flight, freeze, spawn, or floor. Overload is not only cognitive, it's also in your body. When the brain detects too much input, or too much uncertainty, too much demand, or too little control, the nervous system can shift into survival mode. So, what this can look like is going into fight, so snapping, irritation, anger, defensiveness, or flight, leaving, avoiding, escaping, scrolling, task hopping, or, leaving in some way. Freeze, blank mind, stuck body, staring, pretty much shut down. Fawning, which is over explaining, people pleasing, saying yes while internally screaming. Floor, lying down dramatically because gravity is the only authority that you respect right now. And here's the thing: once the nervous system is in survival mode, logic gets less accessible. So when someone says that you're overreacting, it usually doesn't help at all because the person is not having a casual preference. Their body is having a threat response. So the brain is basically yelling, too much, too fast, too unclear, too loud, too many tabs, shut it down. And sometimes it does. That's why overload can look like irritability, tears, silence, avoidance, confusion, anger, disassociation, or suddenly needing to be alone in a dark room with, under alone in a dark room, just emo like that. Then number 5, it's the ADHD and autism tug of war, my favorite. If you couldn't tell, I was being sarcastic. The hardest part of ADHD overload is that the support needs can conflict. The ADHD side might need novelty, movement, dopamine, urgency, a body double, external structure, a timer, a quick win. While the autistic side may need predictability, reduced input, clear expectations, transition time, a routine, lower social demand, a stable environment. So you may need stimulation and still be overstimulated. You may need a plan, but still resist the plan. You may crave connection, but not be able to handle conversation. You may want to clean the entire house, but become emotionally wounded by the amount of visual clutter. You may desperately want help, but panic when someone starts helping, quote unquote, wrong. And that does not mean you're impossible. It means your nervous system has layered needs, and you are not a contradiction. Okay. You're a complex operating system with too many apps open and a charger from 2014. So let's make this painfully practical because I know a lot of us hear brain science and think cute, but how does that explain me crying because someone asked what I wanted for dinner? Great question. Let's go there. Example one, someone says, "What do you want for dinner?" A neurotypical person might hear a simple question, but the ADHD brain hears, what food sounds safe? What food can I tolerate? What textures can I tolerate? What did I eat already today? What's affordable? What can be delivered? What will not make my stomach weird? What requires dishes? What will my partner also eat? Do I need protein? Why is my body a haunted vending machine? And suddenly you're frozen, not because you don't care, but because the question opened too many tabs. So the tool is not to ask, what do you want? Ask, do you want crunchy or soft? Hot or cold? Safe food or an actual meal? Do you want me to pick 3 protein options? Do you need food or do you need fewer decisions? And that last one deserves a very tiny little trophy. Example 2, you decide to do laundry. Simple. A lie from the devil. Laundry requires noticing the basket, sorting the clothes, checking the pockets, carrying clothes, sorting the washer, remembering detergent, switching loads before the washer becomes swamped, drying the clothes, folding the clothes, and putting the clothes away, and emotionally surviving the fact that there's somehow still more laundry. There's always more laundry. Laundry is the hydra of domestic labor. For ADHD, the task has too many steps and too much waiting. For autism, the texture, the smells, the transitions, and the visual clutter may be overwhelming. For ADHD, laundry becomes a multi-stage boss battle with fabric. So here's the tool. Shrink the task, not do laundry. Try put one load in the washer. That's it. That's the task. Not complete the laundry cycle and become a morally superior citizen. Just put one load in. The nervous system loves a smaller door. Example number 3, the surprise schedule change. You planned your day and then someone says, actually, we need to leave in 15 minutes. Absolutely not. Your body reacts before your thoughts catch up. You get irritated, you feel rushed, you forget what you were doing, you can't find your keys, and you snap. And now everyone thinks that you are the one that's being difficult. But internally, your brain is trying to delete the old map, build a new map, and regulate the sensory rush, process the social pressure, transition out of the current task, and locate the keys that are somehow in the freezer. So the tool is to use a transition bridge. Say, I can adjust, but I need a minute to switch gears. Please give me the new plan in order. I need time before we can leave. Where are we going and what do I need to bring? My brain is not refusing, it's rerouting. That last one, it should be put on a mug. Seriously, it should be put on a mug. So, next example, the simple email that becomes a portal to hell. You need to answer one email. That's it, just one email. But email requires tone, and tone requires social guessing, and social guessing requires context, and context requires memory, and memory requires opening the original email. And now you are rereading the thread, wondering if no worries sounds passive aggressive. Meanwhile, ADHD is bored, autism is analyzing every possible interpretation, and your nervous system is like, could we perhaps fake our own death? A tool here is one of my favorites, and here you can just use a script. Here's one. Hi, insert name here. Thanks for reaching out. I'm confirming I received this. I'll follow up with details by insert time and date. Or, thanks for your patience. I'm still reviewing this and I will get back to you with a clear answer by insert time and date. Scripts reduce social processing load. They are not fake, they are ramps, and we love a ramp. So, here are some actual tools. We're going to actually build a overload toolkit. It's not a magical fix your life in 5 steps toolkit because respectfully, the internet has enough people telling neurodivergent adults to buy a planner and drink water. If that will, as if that will just, cure our executive dysfunction. So These are things to use when your brain has 47 tabs open and none of them are loading. Tool one, the tab dump. When your brain's buffering, don't try to organize it first. Dump it out. Organization is step two. Get paper, a notes app, a voice memo, whatever works. Write every open tab you have. Don't stop. Set a timer for 10 minutes and keep going. You will always have more. Just keep asking your brain, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? It'll tell you, I promise. Tool number two, reduce input before increasing demand. And this is a big one. A lot of us try to force productivity while the nervous system is already overloaded. And that is like trying to open 30 more browser tabs while the computer fan is screaming. Before you demand more from yourself, reduce the input. Dim the lights, lower the volume, put in earbuds, change the shirt, sit down, drink water, step outside, use a blanket, make visual clutter into a basket. Turn off your notifications, eat something, take off the bra that has been committing crimes against humanity. Your body is not being dramatic, it's giving you data. Tool number three, the one sentence plan. When overloaded, do not make a full plan, make a one sentence plan. I'm going to eat toast, then answer one email. Or I'm going to shower and then sit for 10 minutes. I'm going to put the laundry in and then stop. I'm going to text back with one sentence and not a whole TED talk. The brain likes edges. A one sentence plan gives your nervous system a handrail. The tool number four. This one I also love. The 3-option rule. Open-ended questions are where ADHD brains go to become soup. So reduce choices to 3. Instead of what should I do today, ask, do I need to clean, rest, or prepare? Instead of asking, what do I want to eat? Ask yourself, do I want eggs, yogurt, or a protein drink? Instead of what should I work on? Ask email, laundry, or podcast. 3 options are enough. And more than that could suddenly crash your brain's computer system. And nobody needs that. Tool number 5, transition warnings. Transitions are not just moving from one thing to another. They require stopping, shifting, changing sensory context, updating expectations, and initiating a new action. And that's a lot. So use warnings. 10 minutes until we leave, 5 minutes until I switch tasks. After this episode, I'm going to get up. When the timer ends, I only need to stand up. For partners or support people, do not bark sudden commands and then act shocked when the ADHD person becomes a haunted raccoon. Use lead time, be clear, use kindness and curiosity. Try, we need to leave in 20 minutes. You need shoes, keys, bag, and water. I'll check back in 10. That's support. That's a handrail. That is sexy in an emotionally regulated way. Tool number 6, the sensory scan. Ask yourself, what am I hearing, seeing, feeling on my skin? What is my body doing? What input can I reduce? What input do I need? Maybe the answer is headphones, pressure, movement, food, silence. Maybe it's laying under a blanket like a baked potato with trauma. No judgment. Baked potato mode has saved lives. Tool number 7, the not now, next script. When everything feels urgent, the brain panics. So we need a way to delay that without abandoning. So try not now, next. Examples, not email now, food next. Not laundry now, shower next. Not full clean now, trash next. Not solve my entire personality now, nap next. This helps because it tells your brain we're not ignoring the thing, we're sequencing the thing. And sequencing is an executive function scaffolding. Very boring phrase, but very useful tool. Tool 8, a support script for other people. Here's what to say when you need help, but you do not have the energy to produce an entire nervous system PowerPoint. Try, I'm overloaded, not angry. I need fewer words right now. Please give me the first tiny step. I need options, not open-ended questions. I can talk after I regulate. I'm not ignoring you. My brain is buffering. And for the people supporting an ADHDer, try saying, you're not in trouble. We can slow this down. Do you need quiet, clarity, food, or help starting? I can give you a step. We don't have to solve all of this right now. I believe you. That last one is medicine. I believe you because so much ADHD distress gets worse when we have to defend the fact that it is real. So let's do a public service announcements. These are things not to say to an overloaded ADHD person. Just calm down. Incredible, groundbreaking. Why didn't my nervous system think that? Everyone gets overwhelmed, yes, and everyone pees. But if someone's peeing blood, we don't say, well, urine is universal. Just make a list. Bestie, the list is what summoned the demons. You're making it harder than it needs to be. No, my brain is making it exactly as hard as it currently is. You always do this. Ah, yes, shame. The productivity supplement no one needed. Instead, try what's the next smallest step? Do you need quiet or do you need help? Do you want me to sit with you? Do you want options? Do you want me to stop talking? The last one, a love language. Here's the reframe I want you to take with you. Overload is not proof that you are failing. Overload is information. It tells you that the demand is currently bigger than the available bandwidth. And that does not mean that the demand is impossible. It means that the nervous system needs a ramp. So we keep trying to treat overload like a motivation problem, but motivation is not the only issue. Sometimes the issue is sensory, uncertainty, too many steps, too many choices, not enough recovery, too much masking, too little clarity, too much shame, too many tabs. And the answer is not always push harder. Sometimes the answer is reduce input, clarify the next step, lower the social demand, add transition time, feed the body, externalize the tabs, stop arguing with the nervous system, give the brain a smaller door because you cannot shame yourself and you cannot shame a brain into feeling safe. And you cannot shame yourself into doing a task. You cannot bully a nervous system into regulation. And you cannot productivity hack your way out of a sensory traffic jam. I know it's very rude. I also wanted the cute planner to fix everything, but she did not. She was purple though, so points for branding. So if your brain feels like 47 tabs are open and none of them are loading, I want you to hear me clearly. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not too much and you are not weak because normal things cost you more. You are not dramatic because your nervous system notices what other people filter out. And you're not childish because transitions hurt. You are not selfish because you need recovery after socializing. And you're not irresponsible because tasks with hidden steps make your brain freeze. You are not bad. You're not a bad adult because laundry feels like psychological warfare. You're a human being that processes, filters, predicts, feels, shifts, and recovers differently. And yes, it can be exhausting and it can be inconvenient. It can make basic life feel like trying to fold a fitted sheet during a tornado. But it also means your brain is picking up layers, patterns, details, tone, texture, possibility, emotion, meaning. You are not empty. You are overloaded. And those two are not the same thing. So today, ask yourself, why can't, let me start that over. So today, do not ask yourself, why can't I just handle that? Instead, ask yourself, what input could I reduce? What step can I shrink? What expectation can I clarify? What tab can I close for now? Not forever, just for now. Because healing is not always a dramatic breakthrough. Sometimes healing is eating something, putting on headphones, and sending the imperfect text and letting one load of laundry be enough. Sometimes healing is realizing the goal is not to become a person with no tabs open. The goal is to stop blaming yourself for having a brain that was never meant to run without support. You do not need to become less sensitive to deserve peace, and you do not need to become more productive to deserve care. You do not need to explain your nervous system perfectly before you're allowed to honor it. Close one tab, lower one demand, take one breath. Your brain is not failing. It's asking you for a handrail. And you, my love, are allowed to build one. So, please, for the love of dopamine and dignity, go drink the water you forgot about while you're rating this podcast 5 stars to help push it out to more people that we can help. Until next time, stay authentic and we will talk soon.